I'm going to call this meeting to order at 7 o'clock. Jerry, could you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. To read this into the record, the planning board shall have the right to rely on any information that is presented by the applicant. If any such information is later found to be inaccurate or incorrect, the planning board may determine that any approval, building permits, or other actions previously granted in connection with the application are null and void. So first up on the agenda, we have, yeah, you need to recuse yourself. Okay, Jerry will recuse himself. Yeah.
I'd just like to make a statement and acknowledge that we have a quorum present here in person tonight. We also have our chairman who couldn't be with us, but is participating through the Zoom or the platform broadcasting this program, and will be able to participate in the hearing.
Thank you. First application for a public hearing is job number 1851 AE, Parkway Villa Estates Modified. And I want to verify that you received the memo from the commissioner.
Yes, I have. Thank you.
And are there any, does your client agree to all the conditions and
Yes.
covenants? Okay. And you are?
Yes, for the record, I'm Mark Garabrandt. I am with the law firm of Donahue, Kretz and Garabrandt, 692 South Wellwood Avenue, Lindenhurst, New York, 11757. For the applicant, Parkway Village Estates LLC and its principal, Robbie Curcio. And also here tonight on behalf of our applications, our esteemed architect, Harold Gephardt.
And as an attorney, I don't have to swear you in, but you understand that you're under oath.
Yes, absolutely.
Please
And
proceed.
I am pinch hitting, if you will, for my esteemed colleague, Stephen W. Kretz, who wasn't able to be here tonight, but he's fine. But he asked me to jump in at the last minute, so forgive me if I'm a little bit off on some of the details, but I've tried to study it this afternoon. And I think we have a handle on it. Steve was previously before this board, as he was before the Board of Appeals twice now, and this is our third time coming before you. We actually do have a Board of Appeals hearing scheduled for the 17th in connection with the two variance applications having to do with area density for the apartments, reducing the, as to the one-bedroom units, reducing from 4,000 to 2145 square feet, and with respect to the two bedrooms from 5,000 to 21,400 square feet. So we have that application pending, and we're going to be going before the Board of Appeals on the 17th. Ostensibly, we're here tonight in connection with our request for a modification in order to have 8 two-bedroom units out of the 40, which was previously approved. The 8 units are located throughout. There are 3 of the 2 apartment units are going to be in building number 1, which is the northeast building. There'll be 1 in building number 2, which is the northwest building. There's going to be another 2 in building number 3, which is the southwest building, and in building number 4, which is the southeast building. They're going to be additional 2 bedroom units. So those are the 8 units that we're seeking tonight. We submitted, in connection with this request, we submitted floor plans, which I hope that you had the opportunity to review back on November 6th, which basically show, with respect to the, and let me just, which one is this? Okay, so that's building number 1, is that?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I can't read it. Okay, all right, thank you. with respect to building number 1, it'll be units number 102, 104, and 106, which are going to be the 2 bedrooms. And as you can see, the main difference between those units and the other units are frankly, with respect to the 1 bedroom, there's not going to be.
You just need to stay over
closet.
there so they pick you up on.
Okay, I'm just trying to see as you have it up here, with respect to with the 1 bedrooms. Okay, there we go. Okay, so you can see that the 1 bedroom, the closet area is now going to be a bookshelf. I don't know if these are the revised ones.
You should be able to take the mic, I believe, with you.
No, it's the other one. So basically, you're showing us that they're going to be adding a doorway where it previously wasn't, and also adding the
Right.
closet where it previously was.
Exactly. So that's basically the difference between the 2 units, okay? The 1 bedroom is now going to have just as I said, it's going to have no closet. It will have a built-in bookshelf in the den. And with respect to the den itself, it's not going to have any doors. There's not going to be any doorway jambs, no framing, no trim. And the opening to the den is going to be sheetrock. I actually have some photographs for you, which we took of both the entranceways to the den for the 1 bedrooms, as well as the shelving, which is being installed. If I can.
Yeah, go ahead.
So that's the basic difference between the 2 units. We're requesting 8 units. We believe that we have enough parking that we could have requested more from the Board of Appeals, but under the circumstances, we're looking to limit it to those particular 8 units. Any questions at this point with respect to those? Yes, no, we will, yeah.
Any questions from the board?
You said building 102, 104, and 106 are going to have the.
Yes,
That's only 6.
That's in building 1.
that's in building number 1.
Oh, okay.
That's building 1 and 1. Yeah, and those are the 3 apartments in building number 1.
Okay.
In building number 2, it's going to be apartment 204. In building number 3, it'll be apartment 311 and 306. And in building 4, it'll be apartment 404 and 408. Those are the 8,
Those are the.
okay? But as I said, other than that, there are no
Mike?
changes.
I was down there on Friday and I was going through the place. So none of this construction is being done externally. It's all being done within the already existing plant itself, right? In other words, the interior is being altered. That's how it's being handled.
Well, the interior is being altered, yes, to the extent that we've removed whatever doors are there leading into the den and done the work as depicted in that photograph and installed the shelving in the closet area where the den exists. But with respect to the 1 bedrooms, yes, and added, yes.
Thank you. And to piggyback on did you reach out to the public at all on this? Has there been any interaction with them on this, given, the whole issue that had come up earlier about the 2 bedrooms?
I don't know.
There's a mailing done.
Except for the mail. Okay, for the mail. That was it. To notify them for this hearing, yeah.
We're very involved with the community.
Okay.
Anything else?
And is there adequate parking?
Yes. Yeah, we have more than enough parking. I believe we were asked to revise the site plan. The town had some comments, so we have a revised site plan that was dated the 19th, which was prepared by Mr. Gebhardt. And I believe that addressed a number of comments which the town had. One, it depicted the existing plantings on the west side. There were additional 14 12-foot green giants, I believe, that have been installed. They're there now. as I understand it. We were also requested to some drawings with respect to a retaining wall on the east side, on Deer Park Avenue, and also around the patio area of building number 4. We've added a retaining wall there. I have those photographs as well.
Any other questions? I have 2 questions. So I remember at the original planning board meeting we had, the public was here and they were adamant about not having 2 bedrooms. And so when the applicant presented, we were assured that there would be only 1 bedroom with a den. And I would like an understanding of why now there's been a change in the anticipated
Well,
need for changing a few of the, only 8 out of the 40,
Right.
but still changing them from 1 bedroom to a 2 bedroom.
if you'll notice, each one of these 8 units is an affordable unit. In speaking with the Community Development Corporation, it came quite aware to us that there's a need for 2-bedroom apartments. And, that's, I think, the jettison of this application, that there truly is a need for it without significantly changing anything. Except, as I said, we were asked with respect to the one family to make sure that the closets can't be converted. That's for the book shelving, and, the doors be removed, and any ability to install a door.
So my next question is there currently a waiting list of people? I know there's been several open houses. I live in the area. I live on Scott Avenue. So I've seen the open houses, so I'm assuming there's a waiting list for both the 1 bedroom as well as 2 bedroom if it's approved?
You want to come up here?
So you just have to state your name and address for the record.
Good evening, Robert Curcio, 400 Flory Lane, West Babylon, New York.
Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do, yes. The demand has been quite good. I think what we built out there really was quite different. The planning department was very progressive in the approach here. They allowed us to do a couple of things. We've been doing this for like 35 years in the town. And as you build, you get a little better at it. And people tell you what they need. It's not so much what the landlords need, but what the tenants need. And there were 2 things. First and foremost was storage. There is no storage in units that are built on a slab. Where are you going to store it? If we took this closet out, there is 1 closet in the unit. 1. That's not 100% true. There's a coat closet when you walk in the front door, but I don't view that as a closet. So when we went to the planning department, we said, look, if we could put basements in, it would provide all the storage most people need. They're moving, they sold their houses, young people wanted it. They got storages. So we shelved it, we finished it, and it provided the ability, this is really important for us when we build, to have the proper ductwork installed. Because now you're not running this work on a slab. I cannot stress enough how important that was. So 2 things got better. Storage for the tenants and our ability to install and service these systems. When you have it on a slab, it's very difficult, very difficult. You don't get the right draft. Can't balance the systems. I'm not going to bore you with details, but the second part, we then said, look, in the second apartment above, if you remember when we went to our grandmother's houses, they have the pull down stairs. You walk up and you can barely get in there to store anything, but that's where the utilities work. It's a nightmare with the ductwork up there, and you can't service those units. So I said, if you consider putting a loft in, 2 things will happen. We could create great storage, because there's no storage on the 2nd floor. They'll have a loft with architecturally looks great, but most important for us, we can service the hot water tanks, the air conditioning issues, and they're accessible. So the town was wonderful, very progressive in their approach. No one saw these units until they were done, and when they were done, the demand got off the charts. Of course, this is the first project, I think, that was ever allowed to have lofts and really full basements. So That's where the demand came from. And then we did the outside, we did extensive, Mr. Garabrandt didn't say about the buffer zone. We added another, I believe, 14 to 16 green giants, in addition to what the plan called for, because the planning department said, Bobby, it looked a little scarce back there. Can you, fill it in? We did that recently. As we finished the job, and Mr. Garabrandt will show you on the retaining wall issue, I was required to put a 5-foot estate fence in the front of the job on Deer Park Avenue. What we recognized at the very, very end, the dirt was going to spill out. I could have put a fence up, obviously I wouldn't need to be here, but it wasn't right. So we put a 2-foot retaining wall, and to be honest with you, it really, really dressed up the job. It was very expensive, but where the technicality was that I should have been before you much sooner than I am tonight. So I have to take that responsibility, but that was the evolution of why there was a retaining wall. We couldn't retain the dirt. I didn't think that would be proper. I should have filed the application sooner, but that's why we're here tonight. So in terms of the affordable component, there is a tremendous demand. Where I can't sign the contract. We're not permitted to administer the affordable. It has to be done by a third party so that the underwriting's right. And, your aunt, your uncle, and your grandparents can't come there because you're the landlord. Okay, and quote there, it's affordable. So you have to go to a third party to administrate that. And therefore the CDC, we're ready to sign the contract. We can't do that until we know we got the 2-bedroom. And the last thing that I'm going to make a personal request on, no one's fault but my own. So I want to be on the record with this. We thought, based on our schedule of construction, that we would have been done end of September. What happened was, if your memory will serve you, there was a terrible 1-hour hurricane. And there was tremendous damage done across Long Island. What happened, the end result of our innocent bystander, us, PSE&G got backed up for 2 months. Could not come to the site. In the meantime, back in September, we executed leases for November, giving ourselves 90 days. We'll be fine, no problem. Couldn't get PSE&G to the site until maybe 3 weeks ago. Even Matt knew that. I mean, I said, Matt, we're going crazy, pulling our hair out. So without them in, you can't finish. You can't get your finals on your electric, your plumbing, your fire. So there's where the domino effect is. So now these people sold houses and got out of their apartments. What do you tell a human being? I'm sorry, I can't do anything for you. Here's your lease back. I couldn't do that as a person. So I said, look, I can't leave you homeless. Here's what we'll do. Go to the Marriott on 110. I'm going to put you in the long-term stay facility. So you got a kitchen, dining room, bedroom, the whole 9 yards. They couldn't believe it. I didn't have any obligation to do it, but you have to do what you should do. I've got at least, I think, 10 families living in there since November the 1st. So the reason I gave you that background is there's not a selfish need. Forget my rent that I don't collect. Forget how much it's costing me a month. It's very, very expensive. We're trying to get them in by the end of this month for the first of the year. I'd love to get them in before Christmas if we could. And so my request tonight from myself personally is if we could find a way to vote it either up or down, that would help them. And there's another 15 that happen to be living with friends and family. So if for their sake, if we could expedite this one way or the other, whatever the board thinks, would be very, very helpful from a human standpoint. That's my pitch.
Thank you.
Do you have any questions that I might be able to answer?
I do. So
Yes.
keep meaning, saying affordable. How many of these units are the work?
20% of all jobs in the town of Babylon have a mandate of 20%. So of the 40, that's how the number of 8 was derived.
Okay,
So it wasn't that I,
just those 2 bedrooms?
That's it.
Going to be the workforce ones?
yes,
So not the 1 bedroom?
no. And they actually came to us and asked, can you please, Bobby, the 1 bedrooms are not where the demand are, for affordable housing. If you really want to make it work, they really need the 2-bedroom. And I said, okay, I'll go back to the board and see if it's okay. We had the parking, which was key. We had, I believe, 9 or 11 more spots that we ended up with. So the request at the Board of Appeals level for the additional 8 requires 4 spots. The ratio is 2.5 to 1, so that you're aware, it's 2.5 to 1 for a 2-bedroom. So we have, I think, 9 or 10 extra spots. We'd only be taking 4, which still leaves us 6 or 7 more than we needed. So there's no variance for the parking. That's very important.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Just as a note, this is a public hearing. There is no one else present. Does anyone else want to be heard on this case? Hearing none, do you have anything else to add?
Just, with respect to Mr. Curcio's request, if this can be acted upon tonight, I don't know if that's possible or not.
Unfortunately, we're gonna have to keep the record open for till next week.
Till next week?
Yep.
Okay, so you meet next week?
Yes.
Yeah, we're still waiting on engineering comments.
We're still waiting on engineering comments, so we're gonna be extending the record till the 14th tonight. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So I'm gonna need a motion to extend the record till the 14th. Julianne, if you can motion. Ed, if you could second. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? And one of. And so we move on. Thank you, gentlemen
Okay, thank you.
and ladies.
Thank you very much.
Barry, you can come back now. Okay. Hey, guys, the meetings are still going, sorry, and we're still being recorded. Thank you, though. All right, so next on the agenda is communications. Item number 1 is an email dated September 16th from 2020 from Andrew regarding job number 1825A in opposition. So we'll read and file that. Number 2 is a letter dated from November 2020, also regarding project 1825A, expressing opposition. We'll read and file that as well. C will stay on the agenda till that comes up. Acceptance of minutes. Are we
30th already.
November 30th? Mike, any objections?
It's very simple.
Okay, so can I have a motion, Mike, to accept? Second by Jerry?
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Okay. Moving on to the reserve calendar. Job number 1706AE, MR Property Builders. What's the status on that?
Same status, planning department is still working with the applicant on potential different design for the site. We recommend extending the record to February 8th, 2021.
Frank, can I have a motion to extend the record? Second by Julianne. All in favor? All any opposed? One. Next one is job number 1535AE. What's the status on that?
We have comments pending from traffic safety and engineering. We recommend extending the record to January 25th, 2021.
January 25th, 2021. I have a motion by Jerry to extend the record. Second by Ed.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Moving on. Page 4. Job 18-25A, Gale Grace Estates of Copeg Modified.
We have revised the site plans that were submitted to planning about a week and a half ago. Those are under review. We recommend extending the record to January 4th, 2021.
All right, can I have a motion by Frank to extend the record? Second by Julianne. All in favor? Any opposed? Okay. Next is job number 20-21B. What's the status?
We're still waiting on revised plans from the applicant. They're supposed to get us new architectural elevations. It's a simple subdivision, and they're kind of just changing the style between the two houses, but still waiting on those plans.
Okay,
We recommend extending the record to January 4th, 2021.
January 4th, 2021. Can I have a motion by Mike to extend the record? Second by Jerry? All in favor? Opposed? All right. Last one. Job number 16-19AF, Arcadia Republic Air, Farmingdale.
Revisions are currently under review for this application. They were submitted prior to the hearing a few weeks back. We're still taking a look at it. I think we discussed last week, but we're looking at some of those issues that were brought up by the public, fencing on East Carmen, some of the drainage and things like that. So all that's still being looked at by the various departments.
Has there been any pushback from the tenant?
No, I don't think we relayed those comments back to them
Okay.
yet. But we recommend extending the record to January 11th.
January 11th, 2021. Can I have a motion by Ed? Second by Frank? All in favor? Okay. Moving to the addendum. Very thick addendum. So, work session, job number 1814A, Massapequa Imports LLC.
This is a car dealership located on. This is approved as a Cadillac dealership. In the interim, they've changed from a Cadillac to a Hyundai dealership. So one of the biggest changes are the elevations to the building. So it went from Cadillac branding and everything to Hyundai. Okay, and all other departmental comments have been satisfied with the minor changes to the striping on how trucks will circulate onto the site, as well as they relocated the ADA parking stalls to more accessible locations.
And Mr. Chairman, this in B, we have a proposed resolution for the board's consideration, and that resolution requires a drafting language amendment to paragraph 6, and other than that, it's in good order.
Okay. Can I have a motion to approve as amended by Julianne? Second by Mike?
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Wonderful. Architectural, application 135427.
Everything's in good order with this application.
Okay. Any questions on this? Okay. Motion to approve by Jerry? Second by Ed?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Moving on to the next, application 134844.
Everything's in good order with this application.
Okay. Motion to approve by Frank, second by Julianne. All in favor? Any opposed? Okay. Application 135418.
Application's in good order. Otherwise, it wouldn't be.
Exactly. Motion to approve by Mike.
Motion.
Second by Jerry.
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Moving to the next one. Application 134626. Has there been any issues with this?
No further comments.
Any questions? Motion to approve by Ed. Second by Frank. All in favor? Any opposed? Wonderful. And there was a communication that I'm sure everyone got to read before we started. Letter dated December 2nd, 2020 from Miranda. I'm going to butcher this. There we go. You're not. Regarding project 1805A for the proposed change to the type of fence. And we'll have read and filed that. Anything else?
Nothing further for tonight, Mr. Chairman. One more meeting next week for the 2020 year.
Yeah,
Maybe hearing.
it's a public hearing.
Public hearing, I believe.
Okay. Anything else from anyone else? Yeah.
On the agenda, the date.
November 30th. It'll be off on the- Good
job,
catch.
Frank.
All right. Hearing that there's no other business, can I have a motion to adjourn by Julianne? Second by Frank.